Hi, this is Sandra Landau from Rockstar Testimony, where we get real and talk about how we feel. Today we have Dave Kral with us. Dave, how are you doing?
Awesome. Awesome. Getting real about how we feel. I love it.
All right, we're ready to do it. So
Yeah.
today we are going to be talking about one of Dave's life struggles and transformational change from Dave Scatchards coaching program. Dave, where are you from?
I am from Vancouver Island, British Columbia.
Ah, okay. And tell us a little bit about yourself, your personal and your professional background.
I have been in the restaurant industry since I was 13 years old, maybe even 12. And in there as well, I did some college at Camosun College in Victoria for a golf professional management program, a 3-year business program.
Oh, awesome.
And pursued my CPGA status, the Canadian Professional Golf Association, in my early 20s. And I got my CPGA card, and I was a teaching professional, and played some pro-ams, and mostly, was the club pro. And
Awesome.
in the winters, I would bartend at my parents' neighborhood pub, and because in the winter the golf course would close,
Right.
and we would get laid off. So I continued to work in the winters in the bar business, and then the original owner who built the bar in 1983, which would be my grandfather-in-law, he had a stroke in around the year 2000, and that kind of set my stepmom up for a disaster, because she was trying to run this business, and she told me one day that she was going to sell it. And I said, well, that's just absolutely crazy. Why would you sell something that creates so much positivity and revenue, and has done the family well for 20 years? And she said, well, I can't run it anymore. I'm burnt out, and Dad's sick, and I have to look after him, and there's no one to run it. So I said, well, I'm not making a whole ton of money in the golf industry right now. What are you going to pay me? And she was going to pay me more than what I was making. So I quit the golf career and set foot in the pub business full time.
Oh.
So that was in the early 2000s, and I learned the business and started managing it, and then I became a partner in 2011 is when I became a shareholder, so a third generation shareholder in this business. So yeah, we have been working, and when I say we, my wife and I, who I met in 2007, we've been working this business since then together, and as partners in 2011, and are still doing that. So that's, a background in a nutshell.
Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. So cool.
Yeah.
So
It's been a fun ride.
What'd you say?
It's been a fun ride.
Yeah. So how did you find Dave Scatchard's Get Your Shit Together challenge?
Well, in 2018, the business burnt down. Basically, this insurance claim's still going, and it was a full write-off, full interior down, like everything was destroyed. Everything got thrown out. So it's a very large building, 2 floors. There's an apartment upstairs. Like we're looking at probably close to a $4 million insurance claim on this one.
Oh wow!
So you can imagine the scope of the damage and what was needed to be replaced. So after the fire, we were trying to rebuild the business, and right in the spring of 2018, spring of 2018. I think maybe the fire was in 2017. I don't know. Anyway, it was close to 13 months. So in around the 7th or 8th, 9th month, we were rebuilding, and we were trying to get open by a certain date because the insurance assistance would run out after 12 months. And things were starting to get really, really, really stressful because things weren't on time. We weren't going to be able to reopen, and the insurance money stopped after one calendar year. And I found myself in a place where I didn't think we're going to be able to do it. I didn't think that we were going to be able to manage all the stress, to young kids, and reopening this bar. I remember I was trying to get exercise in the spring because, you know, we all know you're better when you are exercising and taking care of yourself. So instead of driving to work, I would run, and I would ride my bike to work. And I found some live posts from Dave Scatchard on Facebook. They were Facebook Lives that he was doing, and he was sharing some of his stories about how he had grown up and the struggles that he had in his career. And he was really hitting home with a lot of the messages in those. And I would listen to them on the way to work, and I found that they gave I'm going to get emotional with this because I haven't really got back.
Okay, it's all right.
I don't like to go back to that time, but because of those Facebook Lives, I was able to do it. And so that kind of, and I didn't know it at the time, that it was giving me the strength to continue to try and reopen this place. And I don't know if it would have happened, but it did. And I got through it, and we reopened, and everything was going perfectly. Well, not perfectly, but it was going real good. And at that time period, we got reopened. It was super stressful. I'll speak to my struggles a little bit more in a second, but because you asked me about how I found the program. So it was originally the Facebook Lives, and then, you know, life took a turn and we got reopened. And then in the summer of 2019, we reopened, and then COVID hit 9 months after we reopened, so the bar was closed again. So then I'm thinking, holy crap, right? Like, are we ever going to get this place open and profitable? And then we had the opportunity to go to Florida during COVID and stay with some in-laws. And I think that was the beginning of the process, like the healing process, because the bar was closed. There was nothing, like there was no rebuild to be had, right? Like it was closed. Right. So I was able to focus on my family, my health, and myself for the spring during COVID when everything was shut down. And then Dave launched the All-Star program shortly after that. And I was like, okay, well, this is perfect timing. We're reopened again, and I still haven't really got through this whole fire period, and then COVID shutting us down, and, you know, not making any money and wondering if this is ever going to reopen type thing. Right. And the All-Star program hit, and that was, I guess, June of 2020. And I guess we haven't turned back. I mean, it's been super positive ever since. The program has been life-changing. Yeah, it's all coming together in a weird way.
Yeah.
These timelines, and I feel like we're back on track finally.
That's so awesome. And you were such a fighter. You didn't give up any step of the way. You just kept going. That's awesome.
Well, we didn't have a choice.
You always have a choice. You could have quit, but
you can quit, right? Yeah. But we chose that we can't quit. Like, and it goes so much deeper than that. I mean, you could check out our Facebook page and look back to that time period of when the fire happened and the support. I still get choked up about it because the support from the community on that in that event gave me the energy to continue
Oh, that's
to to
amazing.
to rebuild. So yeah, that's it was a real rough time, but like I said, the Facebook lives from Dave before he even had the All-Star program together. I mean, that was something where I really needed. It came at the perfect time, and then doing some, COVID was a blessing for us, really, to give us the space we needed as a family to connect, and then having the All-Star program follow that up at the end of that period when my head was out of the sand, it was even more powerful. So yeah. Does
Wow.
that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm looking over here only because right in the middle of our interview, my shoe rack's gonna fall over with like.
Let it. Well, you can go fix it.
No, it's fine. I just one shoe at a time's like falling, and I'm like.
Oh, hopefully there's no earthquake.
What did you say?
Hopefully it's not an earthquake.
No, it's not. It's just my dog hit it, so it like rocked to the bottom of it. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
I didn't want you to get too emotional, so I had to break it up with the shoes.
Yeah, no, thanks. The little pattern interrupt there. Appreciate it.
Okay, let's focus.
What was your next question? You had another one.
Okay.
What did you want?
So you became an all-star, and you actually also became a mastermind. So what does it mean for you to be an all-star?
Mastermind or an all-star? Or both?
Both.
Well, it's almost like it's kind of weird for me right now. It's like you have your life and then you have your mastermind and your all-star. Like, I feel like there's two different things going on here, right?
Yeah.
There's the day-to-day grind, but then there's these people and yourself and these programs that we're involved in the all-stars and the masterminds that, it's almost like it's pulling me from where I'm at to somewhere better, right? There's so much positivity and support and network and advice and life skill. I mean, I could go on and on and on about the benefits that these programs have brought to me. But I also think that we're just, scratching the surfaces of it. And I truly think that a lot of us can't quite comprehend what's going to come out of this. I'm sure Dave can, and I'm sure he already sees it, and I'm sure there's people in the group that see it. You're probably one of them. Sure. and I'm in a spot where I'm in a really, really, really tricky spot right now. About it's a big time chess game for me. So I see where we're going, but I'm also needing to stay grounded and play this out very, very smartly, because if I don't, it's not going to set me up properly for where we're going. So staying engaged with the masterminds is pivotal in my development and my future, because there's so much that is coming my way on a daily or weekly basis that it helps me continue to make sure that I stay on the correct path to get where we're going. And I don't know, I'm sure that anybody that's been through the program and is in the mastermind can relate to that. But it's just the timing for me isn't like I'm ready to take off, but I can't, because I'm still connected to the business in a way that is not quite allowing me to do that yet, because of shareholder structure, basically, is what it is. I'm trying to facilitate some sort of exit between myself and the partnership that I'm in, and I don't know how that looks yet. So So yeah, the masterminds, I mean, it's great. I mean, it helps me in every single way in order to maneuver through this this challenge.
Right. Wow. And I've have watched your growth. Like I can see like a ton of growth in you, and you are such a like an instrumental team member. I guess we're family in the group. You're always on there cheering everyone on and supporting, and you're just a huge, just an ambassador of light, like for real. You're there for
Yeah, well, it's easy to do.
yeah.
It is. I mean,
Yep.
if you're having a bad day or you're feeling a bit off or your energy is a bit low, all you got to do is get into the group and read up on some of the stuff that's going on, watch a video from somebody, make a comment, and the support comes right back instantly, right?
Right.
So it's an easy task. Instead of scrolling through all the trolls and all the bullshit that's going on in the world, you know,
Right.
you focus on just one specific positive group. And I think that right there has a ton of value. You can't put a price tag on it because it's so unique and it's not happening anywhere else that I've found. So yeah, it's easy to stay engaged.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an amazing group. It really is.
I don't even think we really understand. And I think that when the day comes when we all get together, the summit that Dave wants to do, and I think it's sort of a blessing in disguise that we haven't been able to do it because it's just building, right? If we had done that summit when he wanted to do it, we wouldn't have been as big as we are going to be when we actually get to do it. So yeah, that's going to be a real good trip. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's so good. And somehow like timing just always aligns itself and it's just right. It's no matter what time, it's just always the right time. So that's really good.
You look at the strengths of the people that had just completed that All-Star challenge, like the most recent one.
Yes.
I mean, just imagine if we could get 3 or 4 more in, if Dave's got the energy and the plans to do it. How many more people are out there that can come in and we're gonna, it looks like we're all sectioning off to our little own mastermind groups, which is kind of neat too, because you know, there's going to be pockets of masterminds that all get together and get to meet each other down the road. So
right. That'd be so awesome. So Dave, for time's sake, because I don't want to keep you too long, but this is your interview, so I want to make sure you say everything you want to say. Is there any other life struggles you want to talk about or any other stories? Or
yeah, I'll talk about the well, because I don't want to miss the opportunity to you know, the struggles. Let's back up to 2013 when our first child was born. My wife is from the East Coast of the USA, so she's American, and she dropped everything to come and live up here in Canada with me. Didn't know anybody but myself. So when we had our first child, we didn't have a support system, and I was trying to make the business work and make sure that we got that, you know, plate spinning, if you want to use that terminology, to the point where it would support and create residual income and blah blah blah. So I was really all my focus of energy was going into the business, and I was it was my first kid. My first rodeo. I wasn't a good, you know, support system for my wife. So she had with our first child real bad morning sickness, and then after birth real bad postpartum, and I didn't really understand it. I was just like, hey, you got to get through this. Like, come on, let's go, because I'm grinding it out. I'm doing your job, my job, and I'm coming home and I'm trying to support you. So I didn't understand what postpartum was until after, and I regret that, but I learned. So maybe someone's listening out there who's going through this, call me. I can tell you how to get through it or help you, or try to help you. So that was our first one. And then our second child came almost exactly 2 years later, and we weren't ready for that one. That just happened. God bless, you know, at that moment we weren't planning on, but it worked out beautifully. I'll never make another choice. If I had to make another choice, I wouldn't make a different choice. I'll continue. Like, Camille's great, but it was a little bit too close. We were just getting through that postpartum. We were just getting, Samantha was 2, so, or almost 2. So we weren't ready for the second one, but the second one came, and now we're not talking about postpartum. We're talking about postpartum psychosis was the diagnosis, and an intervention had to happen. So I couldn't leave the business. The business needed me, but my wife needed me, and I wasn't there for her. So, like the first child, she went to Virginia for 2.5 months, and I stayed here, and I just didn't get to see them. So it happened again with the second child, postpartum psychosis. We actually had, her sister had to fly from Nashville to Seattle like overnight, and I had to drive from Victoria down to SeaTac to get her with her sister, so her sister could fly her back to Virginia to be with her mom. So, that's really where the struggle started, and that's where the alcohol started to be a little bit heavier, right? Because now my family's not here, and I'm working a pub business, and I'm there for 12, 14 hours a day nonstop. It's just a total blur. Right. Now, that darkness comes in, and it's like, I don't remember much because I was, drunk pretty much the whole time, and created these bad habits and getting out of shape, and going through that period of time was difficult, but we got through it. And then just when we thought things were great, we finally got back down to Las Vegas, just the two of us. Our kids were looked after, and we were having a great time, and we're staying in Las Vegas. Finally, we're through all the bullshit. And then as we're boarding the plane to come home, that's when we got the call that the fire was burning the pub down. And
oh shit,
that was like, oh, Christ, like we just thought we were getting through somewhere, and here we are, our business is burning down, and we're boarding a flight, and we can't contact anybody. Like, I was literally walking down the gangway when my phone lit up, and it was like, your business is on fire. And I was in the dark. I couldn't communicate with anybody for 3 hours. So anyways, you want to talk struggle. That was back to back to back. And then we got the business reopened. I talked a little bit about that, but after the business reopened, it was the summer. The business opened July 1st. And by the end of the summer, I didn't even know who I was. I would literally go to work and stay at work for 5 or 6 days, and work day, like open to close. So 14, 16-hour days. And I would go as long as I could. And then I would call Claire, my wife, and say, hey, I can't even talk anymore. Like, there would be points where I wouldn't even be able to speak because I was too overwhelmed. My head wasn't right. I was, the alcohol, that now I'm into antidepressants. And I remember it in the summer, by August, I was sitting at the house, and I called one of my good friends who had recently had a heart attack, and I said, I think I'm having a heart attack. What did it feel like when you were having a heart attack? And so he was explaining to me, to stay calm and this. And so I had the kids with me. I had to take them to my sister, and Claire met me in town, and we went to the emergency room because I was having a panic attack. I thought I was having a heart attack. I couldn't breathe, and we get into the ER, and the lady asks us, oh, where do you work? And we said where we worked, and she goes, the first thing that came out of her mouth was, oh, it's too bad that what they did to that place. Like, it looks terrible, and we'll never go there again. And
having a panic attack? And
I'm having this panic attack, and little did she know that we're the owners, and we had just gone through this whole nightmare of a process. And I think I kind of blacked out. I think I took my fist, because they're protected by plexiglass.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure I punched it as hard as I could, and then I ran out of the emergency room because I knew that security was going to come and whatever, do what, I don't know, if I broke it, I didn't know. So I'm running down the street. My wife's chasing me and talked me back into the hotel, or into the the emergency room, give me Ativan, a couple other drugs, and send me on my way. So that was sort of that was, again, it's kind of hard to go back there and be in that time period because it was so dark. And then, you know, the alcohol was just sort of always there, and it wasn't until just this past October, and completing the All-Star program and being involved in the masterminds, that I was able to get rid of the antidepressants and the alcohol, and you know, it's casually having some drinks here and there, but not like it was. Like, you know, you're probably talking 7 to 10 a day, you know, if I want to be honest about it. And then on the days where I wanted to drink, it was, you know, 12 to 14 easily. Add that up day after day.
Question real quick, just for our viewers. You said that you were able to stop your antidepressants and your anti-anxiety meds. Is there specific daily routines that you use that help you manage those? Manage your anxiety and all of that.
Now, how do I manage it?
Yes, yeah. Now that you have the pills, what do you?
Well, I think the number one thing for me was to really commit to that exercise. So that's been the number one focus. And it's been a full year now, losing weight, 15 pounds in a year, which isn't a ton, but for me, it's a noticeable difference, and I feel better. So there's so many things that go with getting that exercise, and I know it's hard to do, but you got to do it. And if yeah, I mean, that's just the number one thing, is that you got to get those 3-4 days in a week, and it's 30 to 45 minutes of exercise. The Peloton really helped me. Ever since we got that Peloton bike, it's kind of hard to come up with an excuse to not exercise. So that would be my advice, is just find that one thing, and maybe it's a workout partner. And I know everybody hears it all the time, but it's just not easy to do. So on top of that, sleep is another one. Like, I find that if I start losing sleep and staying up later because I want to watch that show, or because I don't think I'm tired, sleep's number 2. You got to make sure that you're staying rested. And then number 3 is just organizing yourself, being determined to, have your list of things that you need to get done that week or that day, and just making sure that you keep it simple, stay organized, and whatever you're doing, stay focused on that one specific thing that you need to achieve in order to get it off your plate. And those 3 things right there, that's where I'm sort of at, is just trucking through it. I'd like to say that the exercise is pretty much fully automated, because I'm able to go run 10K now and not feel like I'm going to die or puke. So it's becoming, it's becoming actually enjoyable, the exercise end of things. So it might be fully automated, and now I can start working on some other things. But it's just, you got to wake up every day and say, I got to get these 3 things done. I got to get my exercise. I got to make sure I go to bed on time, and I have to pick one thing on my list and get it done. And at the end of the day, I remember feeling towards the end of 2020, I was like, wow, okay, every day it's a win, win, win. Like, I got those 3 things done. I got those 3 things done. I can start feeling like, things are starting to happen, and positivity is starting to come. I'm getting compliments from people, and people are coming to me with their problems and asking me sort of for advice. Like, it's really cool how it all starts playing out when you really dig into it. So keep it simple. It's follow the program. Keep watching the modules. When you're stuck and you want to go back and eliminate something, do the dump. Continue to do these things. Continue to stay engaged. Continue to watch. Continue to learn. Continue to take whatever offer Dave or whoever's coaching is giving you, and don't stop. And that's what I've done, and I still feel like I got a long way to go, and I don't feel like I'll ever stop being involved in what you're doing, what Dave's doing, what the masterminds are doing, because It just feels too good.
Yeah, well, we love you, Dave. You're amazing. You're absolutely
And that's the confidence that I need, Sandra. And that's the confidence that the group can give to other people.
yeah.
Because you don't hear it enough, and I don't take credit for it ever. But I'm starting to, and I think that once you start to take that credit and receive it,
Yes.
it helps.
Yeah. And you know what? You get a rock star from me. You get the double rock star for real because you're just absolutely amazing. Like, I'm just so happy that you're on our team and you're with me and Rockstar, and it's just amazing. It really is. And I know by you sharing your story with our viewers and our listeners on the podcast that you're going to help someone. You're going to help many people with what you just shared and with your healthy life hacks, your tips and tricks of exercise and the things that you do that helped you. That's going to help so many people and the struggles you've overcome. That's absolutely inspirational. It's inspirational.
Yeah, and I challenge, I mean, the masterminders for sure. I know that you've got a couple of us to come on and be real, and if we could all do it, I mean,
Yeah.
and then it starts trickling into the All-Stars. I feel like this is sort of what the vision was for you, and I've got glimpses of it, and I think that just this 30 minutes of raw, authentic, honest, flashbacks is if we could all just chip in a little bit like that, then it's gonna make a huge difference. So my hat goes off to you and your persistence.
Thank you.
It's freaking inspiring.
Aww.
Like, really inspiring.
We have Rockstar Platform has 21 All-Star masterminds to do All-Star Rockstar interviews right now. We've done 6 of them so far, and so we have 21 so far, and then we're getting more requests. So it's
sweet.
Yeah.
What's the goal by the end? Let's set it. Let's say it. I mean, I hope everybody tunes in and listens. I'm sure they will, but you didn't set a goal. Well, how the hell are we gonna achieve a goal?
I don't know.
How many of these? How many do you want to do before the end of this year?
I don't know. I guess I just never wanted it to stop. And on the website, I want to post on there for anybody who's had life change from Dave Scatchards coaching, anybody that he's coached or that's been in the challenges or been in, any of his stuff, to interview and to hear that and to hear their story. So I just don't ever want him to stop, but I never gave a number. Like, I don't know.
365 days in a year, Sandra. Pick a number. What is it? You got, let's call it April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November.
In a year
9 months, something like that.
In a 1 year span?
Well, I'm poking you for a goal to set for yourself and how many of these you want to do by the end of this year.
Oh, wow. I haven't even thought about it. I kind of just started going and I've done like so many in the first 2 days. I'm like, okay, let's just schedule more. A goal?
Yeah.
No, I should have made a goal. I didn't.
You still can.
Yeah.
I would say, I'll shoot for 200 or something. I don't know.
Let's make it 3.
I like that. That was the number that was coming to me, is 300. I'm not, no shit of a lie.
3 is my lucky number, and you said 2, and I always go one step higher than what someone thinks I can do. I'm like, I can do better. We'll go 3.
For you. All right. Well, hey, maybe there's strength in numbers, and maybe you're not the only person that's doing it, right? Like we got some other people that maybe there's people that watch this that aren't 100% comfortable with you because your story is different than mine. But maybe they're comfortable with me, and those are some simple questions to ask people, and yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna teamwork it. We have Dusty. She's starting to do some of these interviews too, so we're gonna teamwork it.
300 now. It's looking like there could be more.
Yeah, we need a bigger number now. Now that you said other people are gonna do the interviews too.
Yeah. Well, your personal target's 300 then.
Okay, so I have to keep my personal at 300. Okay.
Yeah. As a team, maybe 5 or 6.
There we go. as a team, 600 interviews in a year. That's
Okay.
great. That's great.
All right. Well, if
Yeah.
anybody wants to do this process with me, having, knowing my story, I know a lot of people are in that restaurant industry.
Yeah.
You want to talk marriage struggles, you want to talk restaurant struggles, you want to talk alcohol troubles. My family, I'm not close to my mom and my dad, so I've got all that, some tools in my toolbox now to not let those things affect me. So I'd love to help whoever I can
Yes.
in this way.
Yes, absolutely. And to our listeners and our viewers, to reach out to Dave Kral if his story touched you or you want to share your story, you can reach out to Dave at Nope, I'm sorry. I'm giving you our website. You can reach out to him at support@rockstartestimony.com and just put attention to Dave and we'll get the message to him. And Dave is more than happy to talk to anyone, to help anyone. Dave is just amazing. We're so happy that you shared your story with us today, Dave.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you setting it up. It wouldn't have gotten out there without you.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say to our listeners or before we go?
I think I just patience, right? Extend that timeline. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. It is kicking the freaking can, like just little steps day by day, right? Like just little growth, 1%, 1%. Just keep growing and positive, move forward. Like that's it. Like don't look back. Don't look back. Over. Go forward.
Right. Yeah. That's so powerful. Thank you so much, Dave. We appreciate it.
All right. All right, Sandra. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Okay.